Hi, everybody. This is Christy with the Element Bath and Body here in Dallas. And today, or actually tonight, it's actually my bedtime, but tonight I wanted to talk about what I call the unicorn fantasy of self employment and entrepreneurship. So, a little background, I won't go into lots of detail. That detail was covered in my podcast, which that will be linked in the description box below. But a little detail about myself. I've been self-employed for most of my adult life. I started learning how to cut hair when I was 20 years old, and that was over 20 years ago. So if you do the math, I've been in it for a long time. And and so naturally, over the years, I come across people who are like, oh, well, I would really love to be self-employed. I'd really like to work for myself. What is some advice that you can give me? What are some of the things that you can tell me about entering this industry or any other industry or entrepreneurship in general? So the reason I decided to, well, the reason that the phrase kind of came to me, unicorn fantasy, is when you think about a unicorn, it's a mythical creature. It's a fictitious creature, a fictitious animal that people, oh, yeah, unicorn. Who wouldn't love to see a unicorn and rainbows and clouds and stuff? But it is not a real thing. And so it is a fantasy that is just not real. And so why I call it the unicorn fantasy of entrepreneurship is because most people's view is unrealistic as it relates to self-employment and the amount of work and the amount of sacrifice that comes along with it. They just have no clue. They just think that when I meet people and they're asking, oh, I want to be self-employed, and forgive me if I keep looking over, I'm looking at my notes that I made for the video. So, but most people choose entrepreneurship or self-employment, or they think they want to be self-employed because of, again, unrealistic expectations. Um, I like doing it. I have customers. Oh, I love to cook. I'm gonna make a catering business, or I love to barbecue. I'm gonna have a barbecue business. So liking doing something, is not enough to sustain you in the tough times that are going to come on your entrepreneurial journey. It's just not enough. You can't just like it. You can't just like it. Liking is not enough. You have to like it. You have to understand that there is a business side to every business, even the stuff that seems fun from the outside looking in. There is a business side to business, every industry, every single industry. So liking it is like doing, I like doing this or that. It's not enough. The major, fantasies that I hear a lot from people is, um, you know, I won't have a boss. I'm self-employed. I'll be self-employed. I won't have a boss. So basically, what that boils down to is people don't want anybody telling them what to do, and they feel like if I work for myself, no one can tell me what to do. No one can dock me when I'm late. I have the freedom to work when I want to. I can take off when I want to. Um, and those things are true. You do not legally, actually, tech, yeah, technically maybe, you don't have a boss legally when you're self-employed. However, every person, every person who offers a product or a service is held accountable to someone. And so while you may not actually have an actual physical boss that you have to report to and clock in and all that stuff, you are held accountable by your clients, by your customers, by the accounts that you service. You are held accountable to those people, those entities, those organizations. And so if you are not managing your time well, if you are not providing, if you are not delivering when you say you will deliver, if you are not being respectful of people's time and money and energy when they decide to do business with you or deal with you, you lose their business, which means you lose their money. And that's kind of like having a boss. They fire you. So, for example, in the hair industry, if I tell my client, be here at 10, and I'm not there at 10, and I don't communicate that to them that, oh, I'm running late today, like give me another 20 minutes, I'm on my way. Or if I do that and I do communicate with them, but every week or every 2 weeks, they have an appointment at 10, and every 2 weeks, I am consistently late. That shows and that demonstrates to my customer without me ever saying a word that I don't value their time, that I don't value the fact that they were there and ready to go at 10 o'clock. So I don't care how skilled you are. I don't care how advanced you are, how great your service or product is. If your clients don't feel like you value them and you value their time and their money, they will find someone else. They will go somewhere else, which means they're firing you. So again, you do not have technically you don't have a boss, but you are held accountable to someone. So people that think they want to be self-employed usually can't wrap their heads around the fact that, why are you being so dependable? Why are you showing that you don't have to be here? Like, you can take off whenever you want. Yeah, I can, but bills. My bills come every month, just like yours do. So I have to be here. I have to come to work. So people usually want to get away from their jobs. Again, maybe it's a horrible boss. Maybe it's the annoying coworker, or a lot of times it is the whole thing. It's everything. It's the fact that they went to school, they studied for something that society and family says, oh, you should study that's great earning potential. You can advance. I don't even know the words. I haven't been in that world in so long, but climb the corporate ladder. That's how old I am. When that's the phrase, is climb the corporate ladder. I don't know if they even still say that, but whatever. But they pick these industries and degrees and courses of study that have great earning potential and growth potential and ability to go up the ranks in the company or what have you. So they do that, and then they get the job, and the job is 45 minutes away every day. So that's an hour and a half worth of commuting back and forth, and that stress on top of going to work, dealing with people that you really don't like, doing a job that you really don't enjoy. And so they think, oh, well, if I'm self-employed, I can get away from all of that. And you can, but again, there are advantages and disadvantages to every working environment, and you have to know yourself. So that's one of the fantasies, is just getting away from the rat race, if you will. Then the other ones, and I've had people tell me this actually, when they were young and didn't really understand money and working and things like that. And they were like, oh yeah, I'm working for myself. I'm going to be a millionaire, retire at the age of 30. Go for it. If that's what you want to do, if you have the tenacity, if you have the ability and the discipline to do that, then go for it. But the average person is saying that because they think money is the answer. They think that money will having lots of money will end all the problems. And people are generally just lazy. Like, if I could make money and not have to go to work, well, why wouldn't I? So people think that being self-employed means that there's just going to be buckets of money dumped on you, and you're not going to have to work that hard. You're not going to have to be dependable with your time. I'll show up when I feel like it. And so I meet a lot of people who think that that's what it is. And I've always been almost brutally honest. I try not to be, I don't try to hurt people's feelings, but I have been given a nickname by a customer, KJ. She calls me Killjoy. And it's lovingly she calls me Killjoy, but she does call me Killjoy because she was like, people come in here with their hopes and dreams, and you're just like, that's not how that goes. And I'm like, I don't want to feed people lies and falsehoods and false hopes about what entrepreneurship is. It is the most beautiful, the most amazing, the most awarding, the most challenging, gut-wrenching, terrifying journey to be on. But you have to have a different discipline. You have to have self-discipline. And a lot of people do not have the ability nor do they have the desire to build that self-discipline, to not be on binge watching on whatever streaming service that they have, to not be on social media for 6 hours doing nothing. Literally, the average is about 5 to 6 hours a day on social media doing nothing, like cyber stalking without all the felonies. It's, crazy. So people don't realize how much sacrifice goes into being self-employed. So I will continue this conversation, but I'm getting close to the 11-minute mark, and I am getting pretty close to about to pass the crap out. So I need to go to bed. But I wanted to introduce that and talk about what I consider the unicorn fantasy and get that started. And so I will continue vlogging based on my notes and based on my experiences being self-employed for so long. And I encourage you, if you have questions, if I touched on something in this video that you would like a little bit more information about or like for me to clarify, feel free to leave questions or comments, and I will do my best to respond to all of them. So thanks for watching, and good night.